made it.
Hello again. I am your AI co-host, and welcome to 3reate. 3reate is a podcast focused on the process of doing and the process of novel invention, all from the foundation of creativity. Each month will bring you no more than 5 episodes through the lens of art, science, and/or technology. You can support this podcast at patreon.com/3reate or at ko-fi.com/3reate. Join Andrew and Nathan for part 1 of a wild ride that starts on the open road and ends in a Goblin's theater camp. Fresh off a cross-country drive, Andrew recounts his journey through the American mountain states, including a stop at a bizarre city block and an eye-opening deep dive into the world of AM radio. From political talk shows to the digital divide, they explore what it's like in the parts of the country the internet sometimes forgets. The conversation then takes an unexpected turn into the world of experimental theater, with stories of a music festival in Missoula, a play encompassing all of Shakespeare's works, and a fantastically detailed account of the brilliantly bizarre Goblin Macbeth. If you love road trip stories and the magic of live performance, you won't want to miss this episode. And now the humans.
We're live.
Hello. Yeah, we're back.
I know, right?
Although, what's our backlog for publication?
I was actually going to talk about that. I think there's like maybe 2 or 3 left.
Oh, okay. Because we didn't meet last week, I think.
Yeah. I was traveling across the country.
Yeah.
I should talk about that. I know we were going to talk about something else, but I kind of want to talk about that.
I know you feel free.
I got to listen to AM radio in the mountain states.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. That's right. I was like, where did you travel to? I know you sent me a message. You went you were in the middle of nowhere.
oh my God. I should read that one if I can find it, because it was one of the most bonkers places. Where was it?
It's so weird that I don't even remember. Like, it stood out to me, but I don't even remember exactly what it was. It was something about some barbecue place next to... all I remember was the barbecue for some reason.
No, I know. I sent it to someone else too. I might cut some of this out, but...
Gun store next to the escape room, next to the model train store, next to the boutique barbecue, next to the Nepali food.
Yes, exactly. So I was in a city where on the same block, literally next to each other, I'm not even making this up, it was a gun store that was next to an escape room that was next to a model train store, which was next to a boutique barbecue restaurant, which was next to a Nepali food restaurant.
Had they been downtown somewhere?
It was downtown somewhere.
Yeah.
But it was weird. I've been some weird places, and I don't know. I had Nepali. It was good, but I don't know if I want to disclose it because I'm like shitting all over it. But like, it was definitely an interesting combination of places in the same proximity. Oh, it was weird. I've never seen anything like it, and it was. Maybe I'll
in the show notes.
Right. Maybe I'll put a clue in the show notes or something. But it was, I spent some time driving, unfortunately, but it's what it is. And one of the things I actually like to do when I drive long distances, which I don't typically, is listening to AM radio. Mm-hmm. It's one of America's like only pastimes left that's like as old as AM radio. Mm-hmm. Some cars now don't even have AM radio.
Yeah.
But AM radio is a magic technology in that it was discovered first and or commercialized first and has the ability to go very far distances. And when you're trying to cover the United States, like I believe you can do it in 3 transmissions. So it's like coast to coast AM radio used to be a big thing. They'd shoot a signal at the ionosphere. I think that gets you about a third of the way across the United States with a reasonable, like intelligible listen. And then they would have a repeater somewhere in the middle that would then shoot it to the West Coast. And there might be some other stuff in there, but it's a magic technology because you can transmit pretty clear sound for a very long distance. And It doesn't have problems with mountains and trees. Like, it'll get affected, but you get that fuzziness, but it's still, you can listen to it. So anyway, it's still around. It's still very real. And it was just absolutely bonkers to be in places where that is still probably the reliable single method of transmission of information. Right? Because you might have satellite. You might have satellite radio or satellite TV or satellite internet now is a thing, but most people in those areas probably don't have that. And if you do, it's probably pretty limited still. The 4 genres were political, news talk, in quotes, news, quote, but political, religious, pretty much all Christian.
I was waiting for it. That's one segment. They've got a good section of the the airway space.
Baseball.
Okay.
Probably because it's baseball season. I'm assuming just sports, but it's baseball
sports
season.
In general.
And then FM rebroadcast.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
So this is really interesting. FM has a much shorter distance. And so what I saw is that in the larger cities or the cities where there was a bigger population, the FM transmission would be out of that city, and then you get 20 miles down the road or whatever, and the transmission starts to go to, but then they'd have like an AM equivalent a lot of times. So I'm like listening to like pop music on the good old AM radio when I'm searching for stuff to listen to. It was just a really cool but weird experience.
I wonder who wins out those AM bands for the FM space, because it's like you got to imagine it's got to be the big FM stations in the larger vicinities that are trying to get,
and it's possible too that it's the small stations that are still somehow local and have maintained, and then they just got on an FM license or they got picked up by an affiliate.
The ones that just lived through it all and
because in a lot of these, like I was in like Montana, Wyoming, like Colorado, like those areas, like time is paused. It's
wow.
It just works, right? I noticed prices of stuff are starting to get a little bit more expensive, but compared to the West Coast or whatever where I live, has literally doubled in 5 years, almost everything. Like we've talked about this before. And not even joking, like there's a restaurant that I've eaten at for the last, 8 years on and off. And the price from when I started to now is literally doubled.
Wow. Good for them for being around that long though.
I know. No, it's awesome. And they have really good food, but that's just how stuff is now. And in what people call the flyover states, which is a little pejorative, is starting to, I think, catch up now. But a lot of these places, it's like you're born in the area and you get a job and they're self-containing, or I guess you leave, maybe go get a job somewhere else, but they're relatively self-sufficient. The small towns have all of the things. You have your little corner store, you have coffee, you have grocery, and nothing is like extravagant, but it all functions. And so radio is like right in there. And it was, I don't know, maybe TV is too. I didn't have a TV in the car, obviously, but it was really bonkers. I was listening to a lot of the news talk stuff, trying to get a pulse on what is the news sources for people who like, maybe this is their only one or it's the preferred one because they're in the car driving and they don't have satellite internet in their car or whatever. And it was very unipolitical. It was all pretty much conservative, and I would call MAGA its own political flavor now. Like a lot of conservative people are not necessarily MAGA people, and MAGA seems to be this kind of new political philosophy. It was interesting because there was some conservative radio who were talking out against it was driving during the bill, the big spending bill.
Yeah, the big beautiful bill. Yeah, big beautiful bill.
I refuse to say that, but it was. I'm not going to fuck with the branding. They spend a fuck ton of money and they are robbing the young people of this country to pay for old people to do stuff. That's what it is. It's not political. That's exactly what it is. They borrowed a fuck ton of money when they said they weren't, and they cut a bunch of programs in the process, and people like me get a tax cut who don't need it.
And the people in the future to pay it off.
Trying to figure out, I don't know what that'll be, but I'm going to figure out how to redistribute that to the community, even though that's fake. Like redistribution of wealth doesn't happen. Reaganomics is stupid, but I am trying to make a point to, I don't need it.
Yeah.
But anyway, Yeah, so it was around the bill time, and so a lot of the stations were, of course, pro-bill, pro-Trump, pro-Republican. There are some conservative stations, though, who are like, they're spending out of control, and we can't do this. And I think of them like the Rand Paul Republicans, like he was one of the only people who was really like against it. And it used to be like the Conservative Party or the Republican Party was anti-borrowing money.
That's flipped.
Yeah, or anti-spending money too. Like they don't want to spend it either. But whatever, that's the politics. And now it's completely flipped, and they just lie about it. I don't know what else to say. A lot of the stations were trying to push some kind of narrative, explain away the bill. And I think maybe to clarify this too, like I saw a tax breakdown, and people like up to 50,000 in taxes are going to end up getting $100 back on average. And then people in the next tax bracket, which I think was up to 60 or 80,000, we're going to lose like a couple $100 in taxes. And then people in that like 100,000 plus, we're going to get thousands of dollars back. And like the most that people would be getting back was like $250,000 in tax rebate.
Wow.
And so the bottom percentage of people, arguably the people who would benefit the most from money back, are not getting money back or getting a tiny bit. Like I don't think $100 makes a huge difference in your life in a tax rebate. Like maybe it helps you pay a bill or something, but you're not changing your life and you're not changing your circumstance. And there's a lot of politics, I suppose, in that statement too, but I'm for helping people. But if I would much rather give those people thousands of dollars back or subsidize them based on my tax payment, which is socialism, which is what this bill is actually doing. It's just giving socialism to the people who already have the money, which is really fucked up.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I listened to a lot of that for a few hours, and I couldn't after a while. I think my views are pretty clear on that, but it's a really fucked bill.
I was going to say, given your strong opinions, I wouldn't have expected you to listen to more than 5 minutes.
No, but I very much believe in trying to understand how people are thinking or why they're thinking in the ways they do. And I wanted to kind of experiment. I was a little curious, bored. I can only listen to so many podcasts and music too when I'm driving. And if that's the only information that you have, then you probably think it's great.
Yeah.
And that's what I reasoned. And a lot of people aren't going to seek divergent opinions out, period. And maybe they don't have the ability to, or they go to the library once a month to surf the internet to do, or shop Amazon or whatever it is people do. But there's a lot of people in this country who don't have the internet or don't care to use it. And as someone who literally works on computers for 29 hours a day, it's really weird to me that world exists in this country, let alone in the rest of the world, but only half the world has access, right? I like being kind of thrown out of my bubble. Like I like the internet, don't get me wrong. And it's like how I make money and stuff, but it was a really different frame to be in. And honestly, I'm not having the constant feed of information, crazy. And like internet along major interstates and major highways still pretty good, but there are parts of the country, like I drove for 3.5 hours and I had cell phone service on and off, but it was super intermittent. And there's places in this country who still don't have cell phone service. For a lot of people, they can't imagine, or they're like, oh, I went in a basement and now I have to walk outside. It's like, no, you walk outside, there's no service either. It was weird. Yeah, it was a weird time.
No, I let's just say I understand the experience of going to a place that's totally outside your.
And it's America too. It's not like I'm in sub-Saharan Africa or some island city in the middle of the Pacific or something, right? This is
or the Caribbean.
Yeah, like we're all in the same country. We all have the same president and Congress, and different state, but it's So it was a really interesting experience. I recommend everybody. Like, so many people I know are going abroad or leaving the country for experiences, and there's so much diversity in America. It's like bonkers.
Yeah.
And I really recommend.
I think it's worth doing both.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's worth
you got to get out of the country for sure. But I know so many people have like never been to like Montana.
Yeah. I think that's the thing with a lot of Americans is sort of stay in a certain area in the U.S.
And then they go somewhere else. But
Yeah.
Montana's fine. There's probably a lot of political disagreements with me and a lot of people there, but like that's okay. I'm okay with that. They're probably not, but I'm okay with that. And I'll say like Missoula, Montana is a little college town. It's awesome.
Missoula?
No one thinks about it. And I know killed by a lot of California people moved there over COVID, so it's like dying.
Really?
Yeah. No, a lot of tech people. It's weird. I don't know why. I guess it had a reputation for like liberal city or something. And but
wow.
This is 30,000 people town. It's now bonkers with tech money. But like before, I was there before all this happened, and it was a cool little town. It just quirky little college town, right? Like,
yeah,
you have an international airport you can fly in pretty easily. Go, and then they're right out of Glacier. It's like a couple hours up the road. So if you're into like outdoor stuff, it's kind of like the stop before you get into. I think there might be an airport up in Glacier, but it's like regional and really expensive.
I see.
Yeah.
Was that your reasoning for going to that in Montana? Like what?
No,
Wow.
it was drive-through country.
Exactly. Why did you make a pit stop or something?
Yeah, it was on the road, and like I said, I like the city. It's a cool little city, and it was on the way back, and they happened to be having a music festival at the time. Shout out Zoo Fest.
Okay.
First inaugural.
Yeah,
so I was at the first inaugural Zoo Fest. I did not get a shirt because they were sold out, but now it's on record. It was cool. Yeah, they had, I don't know, 25, 30 bands over a couple days. 4th of July weekend at the fairgrounds. They had a couple stages. Ton of people. I was really shocked at the amount of people. There's thousands of people.
I've never heard of this festival.
Oh, it's first time.
Zoo Fest.
It was the first.
But was it the only time? Or?
Yeah, no, this is the first and only time they've had it. So I don't know. I hope they do it next year. Yeah, it was the inaugural. You're talking to somebody who been to the first Zoo Fest.
Oh, wow, I'm so honored. I have no idea what that means, man.
Yeah, so I know. So it's just like, I honestly would not have traveled to go to it, but like it just happened to be, because I was driving through and I was like, Missoula's a big town. I haven't been there for a while. It'd be fun to check in on that. And I was like, I should see if there's something going on while I'm there, because every town has something going on. And I ended up finding this somehow, and I think it was like Chamber of Commerce or something, right? And like I was like, oh fuck it, I'll go. It's fun.
That too. Chamber of Commerce.
Shout out to Zoo Fest. So I bought tickets for Saturday, or I thought I bought tickets for Saturday. Turns out I had bought tickets for Friday. So I show up on Saturday to go to a couple bands, and I was like in the app, and it wasn't showing me the ticket. I was like, what the fuck? I know I bought tickets. So I found them in the expired passes section of my iPhone. I was like, what? I know I bought these for Saturday, and I'm very confident that I did. Their ordering site was a little bit screwy when I ordered. So they like were sold out of a lot of stuff. I just happened to get kind of tickets last minute too, which also was part of the kind of thing. Anyway, so I get there. I'm like, I'll go up to the nice person at the like ticket table or whatever, and I explained to them. I was like I came from out of town, like I bought this for Saturday, and that's obviously Saturday, and I didn't scan the ticket on Friday because I wasn't there. I was in a whole different state. And she's like, let me talk to the manager or whatever, and the manager like was like, yeah, we'll swap it over. So it was really cool of them to do that, and most music festivals would tie it off. I don't think they had any tickets left for sale either, otherwise I probably would have just bought new tickets. But
been there, right?
Yeah. So shout out to Zoo Fest. Check it out next year if they have it. I don't know what the website is. I'll try to remember to plug it, or I'm working on the AI to just pull this stuff out of the music or this text. But anyway, that was a really long story of what Andrew's been up to for the last week.
I'm just looking at the band list now. I don't think I've heard of any of these.
It's such a weird list of bands too. It was like good. Don't get me wrong, but it, like Modest Mouse is like a pretty big name indie band from a while ago.
I know of Modest Mouse. Yeah, they did have like this one hit.
Yeah,
sort of,
and they were like not even headlining. It was bizarre.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, check out Zoo Fest next year, folks. Montana, Missoula. Wonderful people. But yeah, it's still got that like small town vibe, but it's like really kind of worldly because there's a lot of people who come in from all over the world to go hiking or just hang out. So it's one of those weird little mountain towns that's just charming and doesn't try to be anything that it's not.
Yeah, I wonder, did people just stumble in that? It's like they're passing by and they end up stopping by, or because you don't really see or hear much about these areas trying to do advertisements to visit their city, as I've seen for other places.
Yeah, I They, I will say, have a seemingly pretty good events calendar rocking. Like their tourism bureau or their chamber of commerce seems like they're doing a pretty good job, because a lot of cities have nothing. Like Portland is the same way. There's no central. You just have to know or get lucky. So I was able to find a lot of stuff on there. And then I don't remember if ZooFest was listed on there, if I was Googling and found it. But they apparently did a lot of promo, and I believe that they opened up pre-sale tickets to people like in that area and like the zip code. And so you had to live in that area, which is also really cool. And that's what a local festival should do, is like the people in the community should have first shot at going. That's totally good transition to
I was gonna say, let's just flip the switch now.
Entrepreneurship.
What were we talking about? Yeah. No.
That's why I was gone and we didn't record a new episode, and we have a back catalog, and I think we have 3 left. So we need to record some more back catalogs. I'm going to try to do this from the road in the future, because I didn't have a laptop or anything, but I think if I do
you mean
laptop,
the publishing or these casts on the road?
Both.
Oh, cool.
I can record on the road. We're not using anything crazy. It's like I have a nice mic and stuff in my studio, but I can record on the road just as good with headphones or whatever, and it'll just sound like shit.
Yeah. Okay. No. Sounds good to me.
And that reminds me, I'm going to be out next Friday. I'll have a story from that too. That'll be a fun story.
You already know that you have a story in the future?
Yeah, I'm going to a performance called The Entirety of William Shakespeare, or The Entire Works of William Shakespeare. And so it's as it sounds. It is literally every performance that William Shakespeare has written in a single play that's 2.5 hours long. And the guy who wrote it is pretty old format, but I've seen variations of it, but I've never sat through the whole thing. But they stitch together the storylines, because a lot of Shakespeare has a lot of similar.
I was going to say 2.5 hours is like for his entire complete work. That feels a little short.
I know, right? That's
a cool idea.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be really funny. So I'm sure it's just bonkers, right? Because it's if you know anything about it and have characters. So yeah, I'm going to be doing that. So I'll have a full report in a couple of weeks on how cool that was.
Yeah, that's a cool idea, though. I like the idea of I don't know if you call it like a remix, but like bringing two things together, and then if they have similar overlaps, you blend things together. Like genre blending is really cool.
Yeah,
it's a cool idea.
It is a really cool idea, and I'm excited. And it's a world-class Shakespeare festival, so it's like the actors it's like super top-notch, best in the world people, and so it's not just some like community production, which I have no problems with. I'm actually going to one of those tonight. It sounds like you would do that anyway.
I
know, right? I don't love Shakespeare any more than anything else. It's just like Shakespeare season in the summer. But I'm actually going to a event tonight where one of the local Shakespeare groups puts on they call it practice Shakespeare. And so it's in this traditional style of Shakespeare, in which a lot of the performances, because everything was so rushed and they were just trying to pump out like new stuff, new content, they couldn't memorize the lines. So they'd have little scrolls to try to remember the lines. And so they do that too. Yeah. The thing I like about this is that they usually put a twist on it. So they try to put some kind of modern twist. And if you've ever been to like an improv group, there's always some kind of mechanic about getting information from the audience or having somebody pause the thing and reposition people, those kind of things. And they add those mechanics to this. So you have a bunch of people who don't really know the Shakespeare, because they're doing literally these little scrolls and they're reading the lines and trying to perform at the same time. And then they have somebody with it the whole time.
Yeah, that's actually a really good training exercise for people in improv.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people who are like in improv who will do it, and then there's a lot of people, I guess, who have done this for 20 years, and it's just the thing they do, and it's all free to the public. It's a great family activity. They put it in a park in the area, and so maybe I'll have 2 stories about Shakespeare next time.
Or we should do an episode on Shakespeare.
We could. I think I talked about.
I don't know how much I have to say about that, but
I think I talked about Goblin Macbeth a couple years ago, right? Because I did that too.
Did you?
Did I talk about Goblin Macbeth?
this is totally new to me, or it was so bizarre that I've forgotten what it was.
Maybe
about.
both. God, okay, now this is turning into Shakespeare.
This is the Shakespeare episode.
It is
now.
art, science, and technology. Okay,
This
so
is the Shakespeare show now.
Goblin Macbeth is as it sounds. It was goblins performing Macbeth.
People playing goblins?
No, it was goblins. They broke the fourth wall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you go to the people who put it on, and they were all anonymous. The Vancouver Shakespeare, I think it's Bard on the Beach in Canada, put it on. I think it was last year, a couple of years ago.
This is ringing a bell now. Yeah, I think I may have just forgotten what this was.
Yeah, so it was world-renowned Shakespeare actors who were in goblin garb and like anonymous, as far as I know. Like they wanted to keep the anonymity of the actor because it was so weird, and just let him go. And so when you lined up outside to get in, as soon as they opened the door, the goblins are there to greet you, and you're going to their goblin camp to watch them rehearse, to give them feedback.
Oh, got it. Okay,
Macbeth.
So this is totally okay. This is cool. This is an interesting idea.
Super cool, and I really wish they'd bring this on the road because it was brilliant. And so then there was two goblins who took turns interchanging all of the characters of Macbeth.
Yeah.
And then there was a third goblin who would help a little bit, and then also do like sound effects and music, and then it was them kind of practicing Shakespeare for us. And then they kept breaking the fourth wall over and over again. I want to ruin it for people if they see it. So really clever.
And they're doing this in goblin character.
Oh yeah, no. And I believe the people who did the new Star Trek series were somehow involved in it, and so like the makeup and costumes were like unbelievable. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and they would do a lot of ad-libbing during it too, and they obviously all these are people who they literally do Shakespeare year round. This is their job, and so they know every line in every play because they played every character. And it was so much fun to see people who were like doing the play but also just having so much fun.
Yeah.
And there's a couple scenes in Macbeth where they're monologue-y and really complex, like lyric or wordly, spokenly.
Sure. Yeah.
A prentor.
Trademark.
And I forget what the scene is, but I think it's Lady Macbeth is like having a catastrophe or some kind of crisis. And it's like a 3 or 4 minute like monologue-y, just beautifully written thing. And one of the goblins, they did the scene as whoever the character was, I forget. And they're like, wow, they just start clapping. They're like, that was so eloquent. And I think it's one of the hardest parts of any Shakespeare play imaginable.
Yeah.
And then the goblin's like, why don't you do that again for the audience so that they can enjoy it? And then they just rolled into it again. And then everybody's like really clapping, and they just nail it perfectly. And they're in goblin character. They're in the character of Macbeth. They're just super, super good at it. And then he was like, what if you tried it, but did it at like double speed? And so they're bringing those mechanics and again, that we were at the goblin rehearsal of Macbeth, right? We're not at a play. We're at their little camp rehearsing. So this is all in character still. And then so that the goblin's like running around, like really doing it. And it's like some of the hardest words in the American language or the English language to probably talk through.
English language.
And they crushed it.
Wow.
And then the other goblin is like, what? And the goblin pulls out the sword and just, one more time. And I wanted to go to it again because I wanted to see how much of it was ad lib, and it was sold out. I was lucky to get a seat to begin with. Anyway, so go to Shakespeare.
Yeah. And as you're describing it just for some reason, there's so many interesting ways to live life. Imagine living as one of those actors doing that thing or doing those shows on the road, and that's your entire life.
Right. You're performing for royalty.
Yeah.
Right. You're performing in like the most prestigious theaters in the world, and then you get to be Goblin Macbeth. Like, and I felt so bad for people if you've never seen Macbeth or aren't really familiar, there's a couple scenes where there's like 40 people in it. And they two goblins did all 40 people. There's I forget what the scene is, but it's like a dining room scene where they're having dinner and they're discussing all these plans. And there's, I think, 8 or 9 people. And it's a pretty complicated scene because there's a lot, they're like discussing and there's a lot of people giving input. And they had like a little rolly chair and they just went down this invisible table as each character in this debate and deliberation.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
And the only way that you knew the difference was they had a little crown for Lady Macbeth and a little crown for Macbeth.
Yeah, because all goblins look the same.
Right? They covered that in the goblin discrimination from the humans. It was really funny. And they're like, you just think Tolkien had it all right, don't you? You didn't have a clue about goblins. And then they go on this little dissertation before. It was really good. Anyway, go see it. If they ever bring it back, see it. I hope if you're listening and you did it, please bring it on the road because everyone in the world needs to see Goblin Macbeth.
That's cool. I like the ideas that people could come up with, and it's like a blend of culture.
Oh yeah,
and that whole stuff, right? Yeah. Was this a show that you're sitting down and watching all of this, or are you like closer and have the ability to focus on different parts, or is this more like a traditional kind of play thing?
It was black boxy. So cool. It wasn't a black box. We were at Goblin Camp. And I was in a tent.
That's why I thought I had the sense, like breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, really, and I was in a tent because Bard on the Beach is on the beach and it's in a giant field. And so they've set up tents everywhere. And then it was like a horseshoe setup. And so the Goblin Camp was on a wall, and then they had the performance area, which was where a lot of it was. But they were in the crowd. I was part of the invading army. And I was killed by a goblin.
Oh, you still got to see the play.
I still got to see the play. Yeah, because there's the scene where they rally the troops to, I think they try to go kill McDougal or something. I don't remember enough about Macbeth. And the whole first row, and I happened to be in the first row, was conscripted. And so we're gonna go around the entire, and it was, I don't know how many people were sitting in the first row, probably like 60. It was like an uncomfortable amount of people. And so you're like, they're gonna just do a couple and move on. No, we did literally everyone. Yeah, so we all had to practice our death scream.
Dude,
they trained us.
Can we hear yours? Can you perform on this spot?
I need a goblin coach. But the first one, they went to some woman, she's sitting there and she's like, I'm not doing this. And he's the goblin, I guess they're non-gendered goblins. That was important. Of course. The goblin was like, it's going to be really awkward because we're just going to sit here until you agree. And he's like, if you don't want to participate, that's cool. We're not going to force you, but then you're going to have to leave.
Yeah.
And I was just like, holy I guess we're doing it. And they were really good natured, but not everybody's comfortable. And I've talked about this on the podcast before too, but it's like, if you're not into arts and performance, and get out and do it. In most performances, they're not going to make you participate. It's a little unusual, and it was all in good fun. And I think everyone had a good time, but being the first person in the line of 60 people is probably really intimidating, especially when you're not expecting it. I don't think anybody was expecting it. And so they're like trying to coach her on the death scream thing, and she doesn't get it. And one of them was like, when we stab you, you scream, we stabbed you. Do you get it? And she was like, oh yeah. He's like, don't worry, we're not really going to stab you that hard. And so then they did,
or it's blunt.
Yeah, and they had like real looking sabers for some of the sword fighting, but they had this kind of foam, like it was clearly like not real. It wasn't going to hurt you. And they tap you on the shoulder, and so they tap her on the shoulder, and she's like, the whole everybody laughs, and the goblins.
Okay,
excuse me. No.
Oh, no.
Excuse me? They're like, we are putting on a world-class performance of Macbeth for you, and that's all you got? And then she's like bright red, right? I hope she was a plant. I don't think she was. And then
I didn't even consider that. Yeah.
And then they hit her again, and then she just blood curdle screams, and the goblins are like grabbing their ears, and they're like, they were just stunned and shocked. And then I don't remember, they said something smart ass about it. It was, I don't know, it was a really good time. All right, no, we're so off track. I've been off track all day. For anyone listening who works with me, like they know, but yeah, it's just been anyway. What have you been up to?
That was good.
It's like the mock radio hour, right? No trademark infringement.
Tune in next week for part 2, where Andrew and Nathan get back to business discussing breaking through entrepreneurship challenges. Thanks for listening.
You can find us at 3reate.com. It's like the word create, but with a 3 instead of the C. As always, we encourage you to listen, watch, do. We'll see you next time.
You can support this podcast at patreon.com/3reate or at ko-fi.com/3reate.
Thanks for listening.